this dandelion song. I think I have a significant discovery. I was over here giving some hints to Casey at End of the Stars. I don't know. He doesn't answer me. I know he's a busy guy. Sometimes he doesn't answer me, but he's always friendly whenever we talk. So I like to give him hints. You know, in the beginning, before I had a channel, all I wanted to do was give hints. I didn't want to have my own channel because I have kids and I don't really want to be out on the front line. But I find out that everyone has their own message, and you know, it's unfair to think that other people will help get your message through. So it's hard to give hints and have people, you know, get them through because they have their own messages they want to get through, of course. Well, check out what I found. Today's date. Let's look at the date. I'm going to slide this thing over. It is 10/23/2015. Now we know that this hurricane came out of nowhere on this date. This hurricane was very date specific. Now if you look at this date, I wrote it again right here. I've taught you guys that inner and the outer valence code, and I haven't really applied it to dates on video very much, but I do apply it to dates in my own awareness and study just to see if this matters, and I think it does matter. Look at the outer here. This adds to a 9. Look at the inner, it's a 23, and we know that a 9/23 equals a 9/11 from the Gregorian to the Julian calendar. So today's 9/11, according to these guys, according to the New World Order. Let's see what matches the New World Order. I wrote it right here. Sorry. See, it doesn't help. I still stammer. New World Order. Oh, Hurricane Patricia equals New World Order and Supreme Court and a bunch of other things. Well, one thing that I just noticed in the last series that I did with the Back to the Future series is that Marty McFly is a character that is it's encoded to be it's basically a the away from Robert Zemeckis. So basically you would say Marty McFly equals the Robert Zemeckis. If you added a the into Robert Zemeckis' name, he equals Marty McFly. Now, the is also a very important word. It's a 33 word, and it basically means God to them. It's, you know, theology. Look at the etymology of this. So, I told you in another video, but basically Marty McFly has the Bride of Christ number in there. It's a 136 in the symbol Gematria, 816, which is 136 times 6 in the English Gematria, and a 107, which we'll get to. I think you've heard me talk about the 107. The 107 equals ground zero, depending on ground zero equals 1016, which is a 107, and there are a lot of others 107s in this connection. This film has a lot of code in it. Now, my take-home message, before I get to these specifics, my take-home message on this discovery is that today's a 9/11. We have a weaponized storm that is attacking Mexico. We don't know why. We don't know why that area, but I'm going to figure it out. I'll be able to tell you probably. Well, my quick theory that's might be half-baked is that Mexico is going to be a place that will be nice to live in a mini ice age. If you watch the movie Day After Tomorrow, that's a good place to live. And basically, in that movie, they get blocked at the border until the Mexican people decide to let all the white people in. And what the problem is that they all rush down there after it's all cold. Well, so because we have the Arctic blob right now, if you've watched my channel, I have a few videos, I think, on the Arctic blob. The Arctic blob ties in, of course, to the Day After Tomorrow movies, if you've been watching my channel, because of Whitley Strieber. First of all, he wrote a book called The Key. I've done a few videos on this book, The Key, where he first gets the information about this cycle. It's a natural cycle. He has a visitor in his room who's basically an angel, seems like. You have to watch those videos and see what you think. Who tells him that there's going to be a mini ice age and it's going to come on suddenly. Well, I have studied some books about the ancient Mayans, and they knew about this. They knew that there's a destructive cycle of the sun, and it ends in a mini ice age in which the currents of the ocean stop, and then the currents of the air stop. And at the beginning of this, giant storms develop. Now in the movie they show it being like naturally these storms develop. I believe this storm that we had right here is an unnatural storm. I'd be very surprised if a natural storm rose up on this day. I would think that would be very surprising. So I think this is an unnatural storm. However, you want to think, what's the reason? Why would they hit Mexico? Well, what if they need to clear it so that all the rich white people can go down there? You know, it's kind of a horrible, horrible thought, but I just am trying to look for a reason of why are they hitting Mexico on 9/11. Now maybe, you know, maybe it's, you know, maybe they're blackmailing Mexico, you know, give us some money or else, something like that. Well, the thing is, what I've learned from this Back to the Book study and this connection with Hurricane Patricia is that 9/11 is an ongoing thing. It's 1006. It's the hurricane that hit South Carolina. It's the 9/11 and the 9/23, which we had sacrifices in Mecca on both those days. This date is, it's not so much a date, it is a number. The number is what matters. One of my very first videos I did on when I decoded the word birth is that birth equals 9/11/01, especially if you use the valence Gematria code like I've taught. I haven't seen anybody else teaching this. So it's the symbolism of the birth. And I believe that 9/11 is actually meant to be good numbers, good symbolism, but the dark Illuminati is taking it to use it for dark reasons, like hurting people in Mexico. So what we need to maybe realize is this is a snowballing thing. It's going on and on and on. That what Robert Zemeckis showed in his 3 movies, Back to the Future, is that JFK had all this symbolism going on in his numbers of the event where he may or may not have died. You know, maybe he was taken underground or, you know, sent somewhere else. Maybe we don't know. Unless you saw him die, you don't know if he died or not. But they made it look like he died, so that's kind of the modern things that people accept. Well, this one of the places. The movie. Sorry, Back to the Future 2 was released on November, which is in 11/22. And they have the scene at the Twin Pine Mall. Mall in the Menorah Gematria is 11/22. If you're unfamiliar with Menorah Gematria, please check out my Menorah Gematria playlist. I'm going to be using this gematria a lot. I feel like it really cracks the code from the side so that we can understand what they're doing. And I feel like I had another major crack today when I realized that they will separate concepts by one word. In this case, the word the. So we will need to pay attention to this in the future. To go further with that concept, just to make sure. Okay, so in this concept, in this idea, lightning strikes on the clock at 10:04. That's the 10:04. That's the 10:04 reference, is the lightning strike. And the reason why 10:04 is important, here, let me bring it up. It equals Jesuit, 33rd degree. Sorry. It equals kill, steal, and destroy. Spraying the skies. Spraying the skies has a 1, 2, 3 count-up number in it, just like Oregon. If we go down here to the simple gematria, it's too much. But this is very close to the time on the clock of 108, which is an encodement. And I think I did a video for you on this. Yes, I did, on Tomorrowland. It was in my Tomorrowland videos where we talk about how 1008 encodes the slope of the Great Pyramid, which the Great Pyramids encode a lot of things, especially 7/11, and 7/11 is another code for this date that we're talking about right here, because it's the Roman month 7 or the Hebrew month 7, which is Tishrei, and again the 11th day. Well, so the Great Pyramid is a symbol of human evolution from the 4th age of the sun. Many of the documents that survive, mostly through ancient Egypt, and they're basically held by all the Freemasons, say that there was a golden age before, you know, all HELL broke loose, and now we don't have the golden age anymore. But at that time, the symbols really did mean good things. The obelisks were used for the good of humanity, and then, you know, the dark broke through and gained power. And I believe we now are at the time where the dark is, you know, it's waning, it's in its death throes, and so basically they're spazzing out and they're doing a lot of wrong things. And so I don't want people to feel hopeless. Oh yes, Freemasons of the Illuminati. That also equals 10004. So the time on the clock is very important there. Also, just, you know, he makes this notice that it's good to know that from 10/4, which is October 4th, is 88 days remaining in the year. That's important to know because this is an Obama number. But we need to think also about the 88 mile per hour being the speed necessary to transfer into the fourth dimension, which is ascend, which is the idea of human evolvement. So we're back to the slope of the pyramid, right? We're back to the 10:08 or the 10:04. Now, I don't understand why they're 4 minutes off. Maybe they don't know. Maybe 10:04 is the right time. I'm just going to leave that in the, I'm not sure why we're just a little bit off on that number. But we do have the human consciousness achievement type of idea where you must reach 88, which is a Christ number. 88 originally was a Christ number. Now it's a Heil Hitler number, so that's not any fun. But the dark has dirtied that number. Originally it was a Christ number. It belonged to the Cathars, and it was a beautiful thing. And then the Vatican killed all the Cathars. Well, so 88 miles per hour, I just want to show you, is the 37. This is the 3773 star matrix, mirror 1221. Whenever I see this, it's encoding creation. So this would be the first aspect of creation. But if you notice this, what I wanted to point out, again, I think I pointed this out in another video, but again, this is half of Oregon. Oregon, the 123 number, it's on the 123 meridian. I did a video on this. It's very important to see because there's an Orion installation over there, and I think that we can find an Orion installation most of these places. Oregon has 74 and 444 in the simple and English gematria. Well, this is double 37, and this is double 222. So it's very interesting because this is the God number, and if you think about the equivalence, God equals 26. And then we have the 1313 gateway on the Georgia Guidestones, which is the MM, but 13 is half of 26, 26 letters in the alphabet. And I've been talking to you about how the alphabet represents pi derived by 7 twice. So if this is your first video with me, I can see that this is going very fast. Welcome, and just hang in there. I don't always talk this fast. I'm just a little excited because I figured out this date. So it's kind of a big thing for me. All right, so Oregon equals gospel, exactly. Satan, Santa. This is in the simple. This is in the this 232 Jewish gematria of Oregon, which equals the skull and bones. This is an anagram for skull and bones. I did find a lot of skull and bones in the Back to the Future. And also, of course, many people now realize that one of the Mecca sacrifices to the Roman eagle is 239 in the Jewish gematria, was 717 times 3. So that, yeah. Well, anyway, that's a 3. Anyway, that happened on 322 Street, which I believe equals Synagogue of Satan. I don't want to pull that up right now. Now in Oregon, there is an Orion's belt. Please go see the video on that. I did 2 videos. So the first video, I didn't realize that there was an Orion's belt there. It took me a little while to realize this. I went back and looked for it and saw it there. Well, I saw the belt though. I saw that they had some interesting construction on the campus of Roseburg, and Rose is of course Rosicrucian type of idea. So this could be an attack on Rosicrucian secret society. I'm not sure. You know, different secret societies fighting amongst each other, or the dark and the light. You know, there are good secret societies probably out there, and they're probably all infiltrating each other. Well, what I want to say is that the heading of the construction on that campus is 323 along the belt of Orion that's there. which I find in a later video. I think there's only 3 Roseburg, Oregon videos that I did. Well, 323 is the mirror opposite of 232, but they equal each other here. 44 in the 74 and the 444, and 323 equals Lucifer. So it really completes the whole Satan-Lucifer idea. So this also equals gospel, just a whole bunch of things. But down here it equals Jesus, Muhammad, Lucifer, told you about that. Joshua, Gematria, Messiah, London, cross, English. I believe that London would be the center of the creation of this storm. It's on 204 Street. It was the corner of 322 Street in Mecca and 204 Street that they had that sacrifice of 717. They changed the number now, but on the day they showed that to be that number. Now, so this is a London code. So we need to always remember this from now on. This is a London code. So it was a cooperation between Skull and Bones and London. Now, a little aside, most people, I never heard anybody else talk about this. This happened on the day that the pilgrims were stoning the devil. Now, I think that people should know what that was about. Stoning the devil. See, the devil, so what happened is Yahweh, I don't know what the Muslims call the God of Abraham. Well, anyway, Abraham's God came to him and said, sacrifice your son. And Abraham, said, yes, sir, for sure, sir. How quickly, sir? Now, you might ask yourself, really? This is the God of every religion out there? Are you kidding me? And we don't even have any questioning. Well, what happened, this idea of the Muslims stoning the devil is that there are 3 devils that show up to tell Abraham to not sacrifice his child. Maybe they were angels, but Abraham saw them as devils. And then this religion emerged out of it. So what they need to do in their religion is to throw stones, pebbles at this devil. And they do this on this day. Because what they need to do is push back their urge to disagree with human sacrifice. Do you see where I'm going with this? They need to kill the inner devil that disagrees. The devil is the one that disagrees with human sacrifice. The devil disagrees with human sacrifice, and the God tells Abraham to kill his child. And Abraham should have not doubted God and just gone ahead and killed his child, because that's what all these world religions are based on. So I think that's unbelievably crazy. And it sounds really crazy when you kind of shake your head and realize what the heck is, what are we talking about here? Well, anyway, so on this day, they're stoning the devil. They are killing the inner despot that disagrees with God. So 3 devils show up to tell Abraham not to kill, or Abraham tell him to not kill his child. So that's what that's about. Then, so after those people participating in this ritual, then they all, not all, many of them die due to a stampede, which was probably caused by CIA agents, they're on the ground. They died due to that. Right after they basically agree 3 times, the cock crows 3 times, they have agreed 3 times to accept human sacrifice. Yeah. That's what it's about. Well, anyway, so today is also about that. Okay, so one more point. Let's see here. So in the Back to the Future, there's the 2 stopwatch scene where both stopwatches has 1 minute and 19 seconds on each stopwatch. Well, if you put 2 stopwatches into the Gematria counter, it equals the Supreme Court. And this is another thing where Hurricane Patricia is a deviation of the away from another major concept. So this is a new anagram, algorithm that we need to be aware of, where words have an association with the difference of the. So it's almost like a Kollel rule, because the is the God, and that's the one, and so it can be off by 1. That means it can be off by a the. Do you understand? So that means they're related. Well, Patricia happens on a 9/23 day. And of course, these two stopwatches are they're twin 11 119s, and today is a version of 9/11. All right, guys. I don't know. I just found this. All right. Talk to you soon. Love you. Check out my other videos, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Talk to you soon.